been hearing nothing, no signs, no confirmations, no divine voice thundering from the sky. But your soul knows something is coming. There's a stillness around you, unnerving, heavy, sacred, like the world holding its breath, like the moment before lightning touches the earth. You're not imagining it. You're not crazy. You're not abandoned. You are being positioned. Because God isn't silent. He's strategic. When heaven grows quiet, it's never without purpose. Because silence is where the sacred gets arranged. And right now, everything in your life is being rearranged by unseen hands. You've noticed the pulling away, the isolation, the sudden detachment from people, from plans, from patterns that once felt safe. You're not being punished. You're being separated. Before the explosion comes the extraction. God removes his chosen before he shakes the ground, before the fire falls, before the winds roar. He hides his prophets in caves. He draws his warriors into deserts. He silences the noise so they can hear the whisper of destiny. And you've been sensing this shift, the disconnect, the restlessness, the divine discomfort that won't let you settle anymore. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. Your spirit is in labor and the contractions are intensifying. There's a reason you've been waking up at 3:33 a.m. There's a reason you're drawn to silence, to solitude, to search for answers no one around you seems to carry. It's because your soul is being summoned, prepared, set apart. You weren't meant to blend in. You weren't meant to stay surrounded. You were never designed for the crowd. You are the remnant, the one he whispers to before the shaking begins. The one he anoints before the oil is even seen. The one he trains in the hidden, the forgotten, the wilderness. So if you've been wondering where God went, he never left. He just brought you closer, not through loudness, but through silence. Not through crowds, but through calling. Not through comfort, but through consecration. This silence is not punishment. It is positioning. This void is not abandonment. It is the womb. And you are about to be birthed into something bigger than you've ever known. The world may have forgotten your name, but heaven has been echoing it in the halls of preparation. And that shaking you feel inside, that pressure, that strange grief that comes without a name, it's sacred because you are sacred. You are chosen, and chosen ones don't move like the rest. They are called out before they are called up. They are set apart before they are set ablaze. So when God goes silent, it means heaven is moving. And when you are pulled into separation, it means destiny is near. Don't fight this silence. Feel it. Don't curse this loneliness. Consecrate it. You are being refined by fire you cannot see. You are being carved into a vessel that will carry power you've never imagined. This isn't just a message. It's your soul's confirmation. If your heart has been aching without a reason, if you've been breaking without explanation, if you've been stripped of everything familiar, it's because your spirit is stepping into the unfamiliar realm of calling. You've outgrown the old world, and God is pulling you back before he launches you forward. Comment 777. If your soul already knows this truth, the silence is sacred, the stillness is strategic, and the separation is a signal. You're not being left behind. You're being launched. And when the explosion comes, you won't be a bystander. You'll be the spark, the pain before the power. There's a kind of ache no doctor can diagnose, a kind of heaviness that doesn't show up on any chart, a kind of tired that sleep can't fix. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That invisible pressure pressing against your ribs, the sudden waves of emotion you can't explain, the nights where you cry without knowing why, the days where your chest feels like it's collapsing in slow motion. This is the pain before the power. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not failing. You're being rewired. Your soul is stretching into the shape of your purpose. And that process hurts, because awakening isn't a sunrise, it's an earthquake. And everything that cannot hold your next level is crumbling beneath your feet. You've probably felt yourself slipping away from people you once laughed with. Rooms you once lit up now feel suffocating. Voices you used to follow now sound hollow. You wonder, what's wrong with me? But the real question is, what's awakening in you because something is changing? You don't fit anymore. Not into the conversations, not into the patterns, not into the plans you used to pray for. That's not regression. That's recalibration. You are a spirit in transition, leaving behind the echo of who you were to become the sound of who you are. And like all sacred transformations, there is pain. Pain in the disconnection. Pain in the silence. Pain in watching people walk away. Pain in feeling invisible while holding something eternal inside you. But hear this. You were broken open so you could be rebuilt, divine. You were dismantled so God could build an altar where your ego once stood. Your grief isn't the end, it's the door. And behind it is a version of you that only fire could shape. Like thunder under your skin, like lightning in your bloodstream. You feel things differently now. The world wounds you deeper, but heaven speaks to you clearer. You can no longer ignore the truth. You can't play small just to stay safe. You can't pretend to be asleep when your soul is wide awake. There's an ache in your belly, not fear, but fire. You've been called, marked, chosen. And the pain you carry isn't punishment. It's prophecy. You're shedding layers you never chose. Trauma passed down, labels forced on you, masks you wore to survive. But survival is no longer your assignment. Awakening is, and that means everything false has to die. Everything unaligned must be cut away. Everything temporary must collapse so that what is eternal can rise. So yes, it hurts, losing them, letting go, being misunderstood, outgrowing what once defined you. But would you rather stay comfortable or become who you were born to be? The universe doesn't rip open your life without reason. It doesn't storm into your routine just for drama. It breaks what binds so that you can remember who you are. You were made for more than managing the pain. You were born to transform it. And right now, that transformation is loud. Some days you feel everything all at once. Other days you feel nothing at all. You swing between tears and numbness, between longing and rage, between surrender and resistance. You pray, but the silence roars back. You try to rest, but your spirit vibrates like a tuning fork struck by God's own hand. This is what it feels like to be anointed in the hidden place, to be groomed by heaven while the earth sleeps on you, to be assigned to a war nobody sees. A war inside your soul is ancient. Your soul is coated with memories of who you were before the world told you who to be. Your soul remembers the throne, that sensation in your palms, that pressure between your brows. It's not paranoia. It's prophecy. You're not sensitive. You're spiritually attuned. You're not weak. You're wide open. You're not alone. You're in activation. You're not drowning. You're being baptized. You're not collapsing. You're being emptied of everything fake. And even though it feels like death, this is the beginning. The end of your caterpillar life and the cracking of your chrysalis. The breakdown is holy. The shaking is sacred. The loneliness is a love letter from heaven, because God won't let you settle. He won't let you rot in routines that poison your purpose. He will strip it all, friends, plans, comfort, income, just to make sure you remember you are not of this world. And this pain, this sacred ache, is the proof that you are still alive in a dead world. Don't numb it. Don't silence it. Don't hide it. This pain is a prophet, and it's telling you everything is changing. Because you are changing, this isn't the kind of pain that breaks you. It's the kind that bursts you, the kind that bends you only to rebuild you in the shape of your assignment, the kind that makes a throne out of your scars, the kind that marks you not as a victim, but as a vessel. When it burns, pray. When it breaks, stand, because you are walking through the fire as the version of you the world was never ready for. But heaven always knew. You're not just enduring a season, you're being initiated into your next dimension. And that ache in your chest, that's not emptiness. That's God's hand making room, the spiritual truth. Let's be clear about something now. This wasn't random. This wasn't chaos. This wasn't God forgetting you. This was designed. That silence you mistook for absence was actually sacred construction. That breakdown you thought was a failure was a blueprint. That detour, it was destiny disguised as disorder. Because the truth is, God doesn't explain himself when he's elevating you. He just starts rearranging your life until what no longer serves you falls away like leaves in a holy autumn. You thought he was being quiet, but he was coding your future into the very DNA of your discomfort. You thought you were being delayed, but heaven was rewiring your timeline, removing what your eyes wanted to protect what your soul needed. God isn't slow, he's surgical, and you're not just wandering, you're being positioned. Because chosen ones aren't made in crowds. They're carved in caves. God isolates what he intends to elevate. He strips what he wants to strengthen. He silences what he plans to send. And you've been chosen from birth, from before breath, from before your mother even knew your name. You were marked in the heavens before your feet touched the dirt, before the trauma, before the loss, before the confusion. It was already written. You would be the one, the breaker of cycles, the disruptor of darkness, the voice that didn't just echo, it ignited. But to carry that level of frequency, you had to be emptied, purged, isolated, distilled, because no polluted vessel can carry sacred fire. And your life, every loss, every betrayal, every silence was a refining. You were never being punished. You were being purified. That depression that nearly swallowed you. It wasn't death, it was detox. That anxiety that made you feel like you were shaking apart. It wasn't madness, it was spiritual recalibration. You were being retuned, vibrating out of frequency with the world so you could resonate with heaven. Because your calling is not ordinary, and your life won't be either. You are not here to chase status. You are here to shatter illusions. You are not here to follow the crowd. You are here to awaken them. You are not here to succeed by the world's rules. You are here to rewrite them by divine law. Chosen ones walk a strange road, one filled with detours, shadows, silence, and signs. And this path you're on, it's not punishment, it's preparation. You've been pulled away from the noise because God has secrets he only shares in silence. You've been stripped of people you once loved because your energy is too sacred to be diluted by dead weight. You've lost jobs, friends, direction, not because you failed, but because heaven intervened. You were being protected from alignment with anything that would delay your purpose. And sometimes protection feels like pain. Until you zoom out and realize God had to break it to break you free. You're not cursed, you're coded with a divine frequency that makes average uncomfortable around you. Coded with wisdom that didn't come from books, but from surviving spiritual warfare nobody else even saw. You fought demons in the silence of your bedroom. You've screamed into pillows while others slept peacefully. You've questioned your very sanity while carrying messages straight from the throne of God. That's not a weakness, that's a witness. You've been anointed in isolation, marked in the mess. And now you're being activated. You may not feel powerful, but even broken, you're dangerous to darkness. Even shaking, you radiate truth. Even confused, you disrupt everything false. Because you don't carry regular energy, you carry the current of remembrance. You're remembering who you are, who you've always been, and every spiritual attack was to make you forget. But heaven is louder than hell. And the reason the warfare increased is because your alignment became unbearable to darkness. You're a walking signal flare, a spiritual siren. Your presence triggers demons. Your words cut illusions. Your energy cracks the matrix. That's why they left you. That's why they couldn't handle you. That's why it all fell apart. Because anything not built on truth cannot survive your frequency anymore. And now you see it. You were never losing. You were shedding. You were never being abandoned. You were being advanced. You were never being buried. You were being planted. This is spiritual law. Separation comes before elevation. Isolation comes before revelation. Stillness comes before assignment. You weren't ignored. You were in incubation. You're not lost. You're being loaded with light. And when God goes silent, it means he's speaking in ways you don't yet understand. Not through words, but through winds. Not through noise, but through nudges. not through answers, but through alignment. You've been seeing the numbers, hearing the ringing, noticing the patterns, feeling the shifts. It's not a coincidence. It's code. Heaven has been speaking in a language the world can't hear. And you're starting to understand it, not with your mind, but with your spirit. You feel what others ignore. You know what others deny. You discern what others dismiss, because you are a forerunner, a pioneer, a seer. You've seen things that haven't happened yet, because you're called to help birth them. Your dreams are blueprints. Your discomfort is instruction. Your ache is an assignment. And even when you're tired, your light still speaks. You were born for this, and your soul has known it the whole time. So don't let the silence scare you. It's the sound of heaven sharpening your sword. Don't let the loneliness lie to you. It's the womb of your next creation. Don't let the delay make you doubt. It's the rhythm of divine precision. And if you've made it this far, you already know. Comment 444 if you feel yourself aligning. God's not done. He's just getting detailed. And what's coming next will make sense of everything that tried to destroy you. Because when the explosion comes, you won't be caught off guard. You'll be standing where He placed you. Unshaken, unbothered, unapologetically. You're not just chosen. You're charged. You're calibrated. You're called. The calling and activation. There comes a moment when the silence becomes a signal. When the ache turns into action, when the breaking becomes the birthing. You're in that moment now. No more shrinking. No more questioning your light. No more dimming yourself for comfort or approval. The wilderness was never meant to be your permanent address. It was the forge, the furnace, the filter. But now it's time to rise. Because the separation wasn't just for protection. It was for activation. God didn't pull you back to keep you safe. He pulled you back to sharpen your sword. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be light. And light doesn't apologize when it enters the room. It doesn't ask permission to shine. Neither should you. You spend enough time second-guessing your knowing. Enough time hiding your power. Enough time waiting for someone to validate what God already confirmed in your spirit. Chosen one, it's time. The mantle is heavy, yes, but it was made for your shoulders. The calling is high, yes, but your soul signed the contract before your body ever took form. That deep pull you felt your whole life. That holy dissatisfaction with normal. That constant inner rebellion against conformity. That was your signal, your divine fingerprint, your soul remembering why it came. Because you weren't sent here just to heal. You were sent here to awaken, to disrupt, to dismantle, to activate others who are still sleeping inside themselves. You are the divine spark in human skin, the blueprint carrier, the sacred mirror that shows others who they really are. But to activate others, you must first activate yourself. You must say yes. Yes to the unknown. Yes to the path that scares you. Yes to the mission that won't let you rest. Yes to being seen even when it makes you feel vulnerable. Yes to walking alone if that's what it takes. Because this isn't about comfort anymore. It's about calling, and calling demands a cost. Not everyone can go with you. Not everything can come with you. Not every part of you gets to survive this elevation. The victim must die. The people pleaser must die. The doubter, the dimmer, the overthinker. All must be surrendered. So the real you can rise. The bold you, the magnetic you, the anointed you, the one who doesn't just talk about energy. You are the energy. You shift rooms by breathing. You break chains with your presence alone. But now God is asking for more. More alignment, more authority, more obedience to what your spirit already knows. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs clarity. It needs you in your full fire, in your full frequency, in your full faith. Know this is your signal. You can't go back to sleep. The veil is gone. And once the veil is gone, you have a responsibility to lead not with ego, but with embodiment, to walk like the answer you prayed for, to live like the miracle you are. You don't need more signs. You are the sign. You don't need more proof. You're already carrying the evidence. God chose you. 12. Not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. And the willingness is enough. Because the universe responds to decision. And when a chosen one decides to align, the entire grid shifts to support it. Resources appear. People align. Doors unlock. Timelines collapse. Miracles normalize. But it starts with one thing. Your yes. Yes to being seen. Yes to being misunderstood. Yes to being a vessel. Yes to being a storm wrapped in skin. Because you didn't come here to be liked. You came here to be legendary, to leave a divine ripple, to mark time with your presence, to turn pain into portals, and silence into sound. So speak. Speak even when your voice shakes. Speak even when they don't believe you. Speak even when you are scared, because your voice doesn't belong to fear, it belongs to freedom. And when you speak in your truth, you awaken others to theirs. This is what leadership looks like in this new era. Not control, not manipulation, not hierarchy, but energetic sovereignty. You move as you are moved. You go where your spirit guide tails. You listen to alignment more than applause. Because you don't lead with force. You lead with frequency. You don't command respect. You embody it. This is divine leadership, and you've been prepared for it your whole life. The trauma trained you. The betrayal refined you. The silence anointed you. The pain purified you. And now it's time to walk like it. You are not behind. You are on divine time. You are not too late. You are right on prophecy. You are not unqualified. You are heaven approved. You are exactly who this world needs, even if they don't know it yet. So if you're ready to rise, to roar, to radiate, let your soul declare it. You've been whispered to in dreams. You've been called in signs. You've been nudged, shaken, stripped. And now you're being sent. Walk like thunder. Speak like fire. Love like a revolution. Move like a messenger. Live like the veil is gone, because it is. This isn't a new season. This is a new you, and the world won't recognize you. But heaven will rejoice, because a chosen one has remembered. Closing revelation. So now you know, this silence was never the absence of God. It was his breath, held before the thunder. You were never forgotten. You were being forged. The pain, the separation, the stillness. All of it was the language of transformation. He didn't speak to you the way you expected, because he was speaking in the way your soul would never forget. And now your spirit remembers. You weren't left behind. You were set apart. You weren't being tested. You were being trusted. Because not everyone gets this calling. Not everyone hears the whisper beneath the noise. Not everyone survives the fire and comes out holding light in their bones. But you did. And that means it's time. Time to stop asking for signs when your whole life has been won. Time to stop dimming your flame just to make others comfortable in the dark. Time to stop hiding behind humility when your presence was meant to awaken worlds. This isn't a motivation, it's a revelation. The veil has lifted, the codes have been downloaded, the anointing has already been activated. And you are not who you were at the beginning of this video. You've crossed a line energetically, spiritually, irreversibly. And there's no going back. Not after what you've heard. Not after what your soul has remembered. You weren't made to live a quiet life. You were made to live a loud legacy. A spiritual flame that doesn't just burn, it beckons. It draws others into remembrance. It cracks illusions. It creates awakening. You don't need to prove anything. You are the proof. You don't need to become something more. You've already been becoming all along. Every scar is a scroll. Every tear is a testimony. Every silent season is a sacred scripture written in spirit. So walk forward, not waiting for permission, but moved by prophecy. You're no longer in waiting. You're in warfare. You're no longer just healing. You're happening. A divine explosion in real time, and every part of you that tried to survive the old world has now made room for the version of you that will reshape it. Chosen one, this is your moment. Comment 777 if your soul already knew. Comment 444 if you feel your alignment shifting. Comment 999 if you're ready to transfigure.